going on, guys, and welcome back to our Surviving Java series. We have finally got our hats back after a good few hours of working on a texture pack. It's now working. I also went looking for texture packs to see if there was better netherite ones, and I did find one that had animated trims. So the trims now actually glow, which I think is really cool. They sort of like a pulsing glow, very slow pulsing glow, which I think just adds a little bit more to them, which I love. But we are today going to be working on our zoo project, and let me break this torch. Can I break it in this view? Come on, come on. You could do it. You could do it. Somewhere around here. There we go. Got it. Yeah, so today we're going to be working on our zoo project that our board selected for us to do a couple of episodes ago. And the zoo project is the cats. And in order to get started on the cats, I do know it is, I did put it in here, didn't I? Bat, cat, yeah, so cat is the one that we're currently working on. And I know that there's a bunch of different variations of cats. Also, you can enchant the brushes, so I made one. And using the new emojis, we can now add emoji things to our tool names, which is extremely cool. Just like added little personal customization switch thing, which I really do like. We want to find a village and then set up a nether portal to the roof to said village, and then set up a spawning box for our cats to spawn in around us, because it works out, I forgot the actual block distance, but it's within a certain distance of every player online. But the more players online, the less likely it is to spawn a cat around you, and the cat spawning has a certain requirement. So it's something like 5 villagers or 4 villagers with so many beds nearby, and then provided the player reaches that sort of need for the cat algorithm to spawn, it will then attempt to spawn the cat within a certain distance of said player. But even if the other players that are online are not meeting the requirements, it doesn't then default to the player that has met the requirements, so it only works better if there's only one person online. At the moment there's me, Steve and Mac, which means we're not actually going to have much luck in spawning the cats, but we can get started on creating the area for the cats to spawn. And we can always kick Steve. Steve's just here looking after the storage system, so what we can do is little player Steve, make sure it's not Mac, and then kill him off to make him leave. And then we can head off over to a village, although I have no idea where a village is. So hopefully these are the right rockets, and it would help if I had my elytra on. There we go. So go up here, and then we can look around for a village on our main map, because when we look at our main map down below, it just shows us the cave systems. So we want to sort of bypass everything that we have already got, and we have actually got a village all the way out here. So if we set a temporary waypoint over to this village here, and then I will meet you once we get over there. Where? Oh look, Mac's coming back somewhere. I think he's gone back down to my base. I don't know what he's doing. I'm going to see what he's doing first of all before flying off to said village, but I'm fairly sure said village is, yeah, it's over there, so it's like 4,000 blocks away. But yeah, I'll meet you over there. Alright, so we're over here at the village that we're going to be sort of tearing apart, to be honest with you. It's a freshly generated village, and we can know that because there's still hay bales here, and every single one I go to I still the hay bales. So what we are going... Oh, you can also see that our lava is just starting to fall as well. What we're going to want to do is like flatten out a big area near the village, and then put all of the beds from the village to make the villagers come into said area. So what we're going to do is jump into a time lapse of me doing this in order to then start taming all of the different variations of cat, because we're going to want one of every variation inside of our zoo enclosure, which I'm yet to even think of how to design. But what we are going to want to do first of all is, what layer is most of the grass on? I'd say probably this layer here. And then we're going to want to grab a bunch of shulker boxes, because we're going to be tearing down a whole bunch of stuff. We've got 6 able to be crafted. Okay, yeah, let's hop into a time lapse of me actually doing this, otherwise it's going to take for frickin' ever. Alright, so we've got the actual cat catching square up and running. We've got our villagers in place who have spawned in some iron golems which decided to kill me along the way of building this thing. A couple of alterations have been made since I stopped recording. One was these boxes because the villagers somehow kept on following me into the nether. We are looking for... That's like the only cat that I've actually caught so far. So we're looking for... There we go, there's a new one. Then we want to get our boat on us. This is like the really tedious section of it. So I've got a checklist next to me with all of the different images of cats. But the fact that they always run away, so I've got like a fish in my offhand trying to lure it. And then when it does get like a notice of me, and I've got walls up around the edges so they can't actually bolt further away. Come on, guy. Look, I've got fish. There we go. It jumps in the boat. We could then name tag it. This one is the Persian. So I'm going to go onto my other screen, put a check next to Persian. And then we have to sort of row this guy all the way over to our nether portal. And then I've got trapdoors set up on either side of the nether portal just so I can actually get the boat across. But that was initially to stop the villagers from like following me in. But they was actually running in, hopping over my boat as I was moving the cats in. And then on the other side of the portal, I've just got another little box set up with all of the boats sort of laid out. So if we go like so, just get that one directly in the portal. Bring up our hitboxes, break that, cat will go through. And the whole point I'm doing it this way and not taming them is because if they're tamed, like he will then jump in one of these boats that's sitting here. If they're tamed, they will teleport to the player if they're not sitting down. And what we want them to be able to do is actually move around freely within the exhibit that we're going to be building without either teleporting to me and without me having to have them permanently sitting down. So it will be a much more sort of interactive exhibit rather than them all just sitting stationary in the same place, which would be really, really boring. But yeah, that's 2 out of I think 12 that I need to get, so it's going to be a bit of a long time of me doing this tedious process. But once I've got them all in place, I'll probably be hopping into a test spell to come up with some design ideas. Hello, I've not got you. You are a British short hair, apparently. Yeah, it's going to be a bit of a tedious process. Like the first 8 or 9 are going to be simple enough, but once you start getting to that number, relying on the RNG to give you the one that you've not got, it is very, very low. So yeah, I'll probably bring you back once I've got them all sort of captured and in place, and we're ready to actually build the exhibit. Alright, so many hours later, we have finally got all 11 variations of the cats. So we've got the red one, which is Ginger. This one, I think that might be Tabby. That one's white. I think that one's Persian. This one is Calico. You've got Jelly. I know this one's a British short hair. This one's black and white. This one's all black. I forgot the name of the other 2. Oh well, regardless of what they are, there's all 11 here, finally, at last. We did actually have to kill, God knows how many cats, but the rare chance of them dropping their heads, all of their heads have gone up around this wall. As you can see, Calico tends to be the most common one that was spawning for us as we was killing them. Quite a few jelly heads, unfortunately. But yeah, once you're the only one on the server, they tend to spawn relatively quickly. But as soon as one person else is on the server, it sort of splits the odds in 50, and then if a third person, then you've only got 33% chance of it doing it, and then yeah, it just becomes pointless at that point. So whenever someone else came on, I sort of went off and done other bits and pieces. I did actually design the enclosure for them, so we are actually going to have to go over to the zoo area now and figure out a location for it. It is a relatively large enclosure for the size of the creature, but it's just the sort of way that I wanted to do it, and it's a different sort of style compared to all of the other ones, because obviously the other ones I tend to try my best to fit in the sort of habitat, their environment, their natural environment they would usually spawn in. But this one is more of a case that because they spawn in villages, I don't want to have to just create a bog standard boring looking village for enclosing a bunch of cats, and it just, I don't know, it just didn't look very good. I did toy with the idea, but obviously I don't want to do that. So we are going to have a fly around the zoo area and sort of decide on whereabouts it is we want the location for it. I don't know why I've gone the long route. I should have just went to size portal. Can we do this without it getting caught on the wall? It's been a while since I used this thing, but we'll see if it works or not. Okay, yeah, once I'm up there and I'm flying around, I'll bring you back. Okay, so let's have a look around the existing enclosure areas to see whereabouts would be a good fit for this one. The best way of doing it is to actually look on our full screen map to see what's in different locations. So we've got this long pathway here that goes to the Ravager. We've got the cave spider and spiders. This one's already set aside for another enclosure for the future. Got Cloud's witch hut area, turtles. The bats is somewhere between... Oh, it's between the polar bear enclosure and Clouds. That's along this line here. I'm thinking maybe to the right hand side of the Ravagers, but I think it may look a little bit out of place over there. So possibly... to be honest with you, I think somewhere in this like general vicinity would be the best place, and then for us to extend the pathway. So that way we can have a pathway that goes from the witch hut enclosure over to here where the bat enclosure is, to sort of link these two, so that way we've got another alternative like pathway route that you can go around, rather than you having to start all the way here and then make your way all the way down here. So yeah, I think somewhere like dead center here. So let's just go see what sort of terrain that we'll be working with, because I'm obviously going to have to clear a large enough area for it. Hopefully it's not too hilly. You know what, it's not actually too bad of a location. It doesn't seem too hilly, and it's in eyeshot of the main zoo building. What is, I don't know what's over there. And it's in eyeshot of the witch hut area as well. So yeah, it's not too bad, and because it's relatively big, it's going to be hidden by the trees from the other exhibits anyway, because it's not a very tall exhibit, it's just a very large footprint. But nevertheless, let's hop into the building of it, and I will bring you back once we're ready to start moving the cats over. Alright, so it didn't actually take too long. We have got a wandering trader as a guest sitting on top of it. But as you can see, it's not a massive build, but it does take up quite a large footprint. If we have a look at the map, you can just see the sort of scale. It's roughly the same length as like the main zoo building, but it's nowhere as detailed because it is just like a pixel version of one of the Minecraft cats. Initially, my original design that I was planning on doing was actually like a real life looking cat, but it just did not blend well at all with the sort of theme. Now, although this stands out like a sore thumb in the middle of the jungle, what we are going to be doing is sorting out this cliff face here and sorting out this cliff face here, and then we're going to be replanting a bunch of the larger jungle trees all around the back end of it and around the sides, and then obviously implementing the pathway that comes from over at the witch hut area, cutting across this way and then cutting across over that way towards where Clouds is. So that way we're joining the two paths together and this will blend in just a little bit better. But I'll give you a quick tour of the inside of it now. So we've gone for the new bamboo flooring. I just really like the look. It looks really nice, clean and polished. Inside here we've got a glass off area for our cats. We've got a bunch of custom heads for the food and the little ball toys. We've got the water sort of palette there for it to have a drink or for them to have a drink. A couple of different little beds there. We've got scratching posts as well. The scratching posts are done via using leads connected to chickens that are underneath the ground. So you may hear clucking if we get too close. And then we've got a normal bed for them to actually sleep on because that's what they can actually do. They can sleep on beds when they're wild. I don't know if name tagging is going to affect them because all of them obviously had to be name tagged to stop them from despawning. And then on the far right we've got like the litter tray. Now this is the first time I've implemented something like this in one of the zoo enclosures, and that is a sort of gift shop area. So around here we've got a little couple of cash registers. I am planning on doing some armor displays in here to obviously make it look a little bit more busy and occupied. Maybe do like a map on the wall for like their current location within the actual zoo. I think it might be a good idea because it's a pretty large wall here that can be utilized for that. And then in here we've got the different styles of head. Now initially I was planning on having the actual cats from Minecraft head, but I thought that might be a little bit warped considering that we are having the cats as an exhibit. We don't really want to be selling their stuffed heads as a collectible, so I've gone for different sort of cartoon or funny inspired ones. So we've got the Aristocat sort of with the eyeglass, we've got Sprigerato or Sprigerito from Pokemon, we've got Garfield, and then just another marble cat, or marble tiger should I say. I was going to go for Tony the Tiger, but Tony the Tiger in pixel version looks very similar to Garfield, so I veered away from that a little bit. Nevertheless, we want to start moving these guys over into the enclosure. That is exactly what the Nether portal is for. Is there going to be a optimal way for me to actually get up there? Probably by going up, over and in, to be honest with you. It's probably going to be the best way. So go like so. I can patch that in from up top quite easily. And then we can break you, which will then, yeah, I can patch that in easily as well. That's fine. So we're over here, and what we've got set up over at this portal is a minecart track, which actually, let me make sure I've got the right firework rockets. So the minecart track comes up over, and then we've got a activator rail which should hopefully kick them out and over into here. Then they'll sort of run around and go through the portal eventually, and because the portal on the other side is elevated, it means that they should actually drop down into the enclosure itself, and then I can bust the portal from up top and fly it up and out, or use ender pearls to get back out. But we've got the powered rail running all the way over to this section. Now before I go making a hole and trying to get the rail track in here, what I do need to do is try to get all of these guys in the minecarts. So we've got 11 minecarts here. Can we grab you? So let's just do, say, circle little sections of track, and then we're going to have minecarts just move in around them, so that way when the cats sort of run into them and over them, it means that they'll sort of just pop into the minecarts, which is the hope and dreams of this. Why can I not break you? Okay. It was just taking a second. Is there any other random boats? No? Cool. Okay, so let's see how this goes. Let's just first of all grab some of these. Do like so. Well, crap. That was an unforeseen circumstance. Was not expecting the minecart to pick up the boat with 2 cats in. I don't know how I feel about that. Whether or not it's going to be bad or good, but what we can do is break the rail to stop it from moving. Is he really rowing the boat? God. Okay, we're going to have to get hitboxes up for this. Do that. There we go. Oh crap, and this one's also doing the same thing. Stop moving. Do that. Okay. Do that. And then we want another minecart over here. So hopefully, if we have all of the cats running around, some of them should run into and knock into the minecarts. Unless the minecarts have to be moving, maybe that's a thing. So if I have, say, just a minecart track running like around. Hello. Dude. Let me do that. Where's my box gone? And do this. Boats go into there. Oh, I can see this being a problem unless I get powered rail on the go. Hey, we got one. Got 2. 3. 4. Come on. 5. Am I missing some cats? Oh, they've gone through the portal. God damn it. I didn't break the portal. Oh, that's so annoying. But they're name tags, so I can get them back in with boats. How did I not think of that? I thought about it on the other end, I did not think about it on this end. Okay, right, you just get in the boat. I'm gonna have to try to get all of these back into boats now. Oh man. Okay, yeah, this is gonna be a hot minute because they're all gonna be wandering around again, so I need to try to get some fish. Okay, I guess I'll catch you back in a bit after I've got them back into their frickin' boats and into the other side. It's the cat train. Do 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 do. It's the cat train. Ba-da-ba-ba. Okay, they're all on their way. Yep, I don't know if this is a good or bad idea sending them all at once, but it beats having to do it one by one. And provided that they're all loaded, it should be fine. What I can do is grab some blocks, so that way when they reach a certain point I can break the track, put some blocks down, So even if they do stack up and they can't actually drop down where I want them to, I can place some blocks so that way they don't end up all the way back there. They'll end up just over here. And they'll sort of just keep on bouncing back and forth until I break some of them out of the minecarts. Okay. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Yep. Quickly. There we go. Just as I thought. A nice stack of cats. Okay, bring back up hitboxes, and we can just start busting these guys out. Not overly worried about losing some of the minecarts, to be honest with you. Nudge you up to there, and then the last one into here. This has got to be one of the most time consuming exhibits I've had to actually do. Okay, everyone, I kind of need you to go through the ball, so to stop them from running around. Do that, and then do that. Okay, I want both of you over here. There we go. Oh, okay, you actually want the fish. Come on. All of you go through the portal. And you. Last one. Don't. Start. Nope. Nope. Stop it. There we go. Oh. This is where they all die in the bloody frame, aren't they? No, they're all here. I've never wanted to hear that sound so much in my life. Okay, get rid of hitboxes for the time being. Finish busting this. That carpet. Patch this in. And do that. Do that. And do that. Oh my god. Such a freaking choresome exhibit. Please do not drown in the water. It's like it's a half slab of water, so I think they should be safe. But from this side, they don't run away from you, which is good. And they are sort of wandering around. A few of them are getting stuck underneath there though. But we've got every variation of cat, and they've now still got their original AI of wandering around without teleporting to players because they're not tamed. Which I know it made the process so much longer on having to deal with them, but I think having them free roaming with their natural AI is so much better than them all just being sat down static in different positions. And the exhibit I like, especially with the scratch him posts using the leads, which I really like. And then we've got their little jungle gym area. The jungle gym area I actually found just by googling Minecraft cat sanctuary, and it was like one of the first sort of structures, and I just tried to mimic it but in a smaller scale because their one was freaking massive. But I'm quite happy with the way that it's turned out, and it's definitely been one of the longer winded projects that I've had to take on. And then we've got our giant sleepy cat that is just chilling in a jungle. But nevertheless, that's definitely going to do it for today's episode. Let's quickly see what you have for sale. Any new blocks? You've got jungle saplings. No new blocks I can see. Okay. Yeah, that's going to do it for today. Hopefully you've enjoyed today's episode. In between this episode and next, I'm going to work on the pathways, tidying up all of this terrain around the enclosure. I need to get rid of that hill for starters, so I'll probably tear down them trees, get rid of this hill, and then replant a bunch of the jungle trees around the edges. I would have done it during the episode, but this one's dragged on for far longer than what I wanted it to already. Let's put all of this crap away. So nevertheless, that is one more enclosure done. What we do actually have to do before ending today's episode off is head on over to the selector to see what our next main project's going to be before I forget. It's going to make this episode drag on just a little bit longer, but I do apologise. Feel free to tune out for this process if you just want to be surprised by the next episode, but the thumbnail will give it away otherwise. But I'm a little bit excited to see what we're going to get. So we've got an empty space there, so it's along the corridor then upstairs, so we go along the top first and then up the side. Let's quickly click on new and let this thing spin. Hopefully it's not a very, very long spin. Right, next episode I wouldn't mind trying to get the other two armor plate, or other 3 armor plates. You still got the 2 in the ancient city and 1 somewhere else. Woodland Mansion is the last one. And then I didn't realise, in order to now upgrade your stuff to netherite gear, you need something called an upgrade token. An upgrade token is similar to what the armor trim plates look like, but you actually get them from the bastions as well, which I didn't know when I went to the bastion to get the other armor trim. So after I found that armor trim, I sort of just said, well, yeah, that's that one done, and then I sort of just carried on. But yeah, I'm actually going to have to do that again, which is not fun. So another trip to the bastion may be thrown in next episode, depending what our project is and how long the project takes. Like, I would have liked to have thrown it in during this episode, but as you can probably tell, this one has been recorded over the span of about a week and a half, just because of the amount of work behind setting up the cat spawning area. The one good thing about that is that for a future farm that I want to do, it is necessary for me to be able to get quite a large quantity of cats, and having that area now planned out and set up for it is a godsend. Although it keeps on spawning iron golems, which is a little bit disconcerting. There's like 5 or 6 of them roaming around in that area now. Okay, let's see where this thing lands. That was probably the longest spin that I've ever had to wait for. That was about 6 minutes. But thankfully, with the introduction of editing, you didn't have to watch that entire thing. So we're on row 8, so it's anywhere along this line here. And let's see where we go. So what is on the list here? We've got, let me go into free cam so we can see better. So we've got Zoo Project, Rabbit Foot Farm, Ancient Sea Project, Skulk Block Farm, Charge Creeper Farm, Cookie Farm, and so we've got 3 chances of another zoo project, which isn't fantastic, but we will see. I won't mind doing a cookies farm. The Charge Creeper Farm's also going to be fun. Skulk Block Farm, I've not even attempted to do one of them. Ancient City Project isn't bad. Rabbit Foot Farm's a nightmare because rabbits are a sort of big liability on them killing themselves. But we'll see where it lands on. Yeah, hopefully something good. I wouldn't mind skipping another zoo project. Like this last one's just taken way too long. But we'll see where it lands. And we're on number 1, which is really... Yeah, you know what? I'm introducing the rule that we're not going to be doing back-to-back projects in the same thing, because that's another zoo randomizer one. So we're going to roll again. We're going to keep it on that line until we get something other than a zoo project. Because, yeah, I said it last time it happened. Like we've had, landed on number 6, which is the charged creeper farm. The last time it happened, it was like back to back that we had zoo projects, and I wanted to increase the odds of the zoo projects like coming up, but I did not want it to be consistently zoo projects every single like other episode. So yeah, back to back ones I think we're going to skip. So if it does happen in future with the zoo randomizer or the ancient city or the industrial district, them 3 have got multiple parts and they're going to be replaced each time we do one. So yeah, we're not going to be doing back-to-back zoo projects, definitely. We are, however, going to be doing a charged creeper farm. Which, honestly, I would have preferred the cookie farm. But yeah, nevertheless, I need to start working out ideas of a charged creeper farm. I've already got some ideas, but I want to sort of have it quite well fully automated in creating charged creepers en masse should we need them. So it should be an interesting project to take on, but nevertheless, hopefully you enjoyed today's episode. Before I start getting my words muddled as much as I possibly can, and hopefully I'll catch you all in the next one. Bye bye.